Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our whatever day this is. Wednesday morning trading room. Is it Wednesday already? All right. Hang on here a second. We'll get the share going on. No, it's Tuesday. Doggone it. It's a little bit early. Sorry, my the last few days have just been kind of crazy around here. Okay. Yesterday's session, we'll take a look here at the daily chart. Market not doing a whole lot. The day did end up getting high enough to fill the gap, but the afternoon session kind of drifted sideways and then it fell off slightly going into the close. You can see that the market closed down here. We're opening up here, so there's a little bit of a gap to the downside. I imagine traders will probably try to get in there, try to fill that. Before we leave that chart, how we were talking about volume, how relative volume to the bar size. If that were a little bit stronger, that's just borderline stronger to the downside, to my way of looking at it. The thing with volume is it's really open to personal interpretation. And as you can see, I'm running Ninja 7 again today. I did not get my Ninja 8 charts updated as I said I would, but I will do it right after I close the room today. I hope. Something always seems to come up. I'm far too busy. Oh well. So for you eagle traders who like your first in-sync eagle signal, here it is right here. We've got our buy signal. And that's making pretty good progress. I would probably consider bringing my stops up below the low, and voila, we have hit our profit objective. So a nice way to start the trade there with the eagle. You Raptor traders need not feel left out because you can do the exact same thing as well. You let the market open. So here's the opening right here. You look for your first in sync signal, this one right here. Funny it didn't print as a number 3 signal. I guess it just missed tagging the hard edge, but that's what it is. It's a number 3 signal. And very solid follow through there out of the open. I don't normally consider doing your first in-sync signal on the hawk just because there's so many signals that print on the hawk. You're better waiting for one of your higher probability signals. Although we did get a bit of a sloppy 4-arrow consolidation out of the open, it was followed both by a red bar buy and a minute later by another first micro macro cross signal. You can do your first in-sync signal with the Falcon as well, but if you own the Falcon and the Hawk, you probably got the Eagle, so you can concentrate on doing it with the Eagle. Here would be your first, yeah, I guess this would be your first in-sync signal here on the Falcon. Well, the buyers putting the boots here to the sellers. And this is one of these days that makes you want to trade opening range. Normally, I try to avoid opening range. But these are the kinds of moves that always make you inclined to try to jump in. Now, it is still possible. The problem is stop placement. You could, with a market that looks this aggressive, I think it's fairly certain we're going to have a bullish day today. You could just hit your buy button. Problem is, stops should go all the way down here, which frankly, I won't be able to afford. But right now, direction does not seem to be the issue. It looks like our trading band is getting very, very broad here. Just screaming out of the open. We're gonna break 100 ticks. We'll kind of reposition the band counter so maybe it's a little easier to see. There we go. All right, well, here now the possibility of a counter trend. So we're looking at the test of the extreme right now. If we come back with a sell signal, that should produce a number 2 signal. You might have to be quick with that. I may just get ready to hop in with a short. Target would be the hard edge, and this is the trading equivalent of playing chicken with a oncoming bus. So what we're doing here is we're looking at the very, very broad band, which tells us the market is fairly overbought. No, they're not going to do it. The band up again, really, really strong here. The Raptor will be one of the first tools to give us a counter trend opportunity, which is why I'm looking here. Oh, do I really want to try a counter trend? All right. What time is it? Oh, it's almost quarter to the hour. My least favorite time of the day to trade. We're settling in here a little bit on the secondary support line or resistance line. Okay, so there is the sell signal. It didn't print as a number 2 signal, but that's what it is. We're looking at a retest of the high, even though we went a little bit higher. This is a retest of the high. And then we came back with the sell attempt. Now the target for, it looks like we got slipped a little bit. The target for this move is the hard edge. I may try to get it out there a little bit further, but I think if I can get a couple of bars in my favor here, I will start to bring my stops in a little bit more aggressively. Breaking this low is going to be a big deal. Breaking this low could have some decent follow through to it. Don't think we're going to recover all this morning's move. Come on, there we go. Okay, I'm going to roll my stops ever so about halfways. Oh, that's, don't you dare. That might have been too soon. Here we go with the number 3 signal. Yeah, okay, well, I got tagged. I will set up a number 3 trade here above the high. Now that we have a little bit more structure, oops, they snuck right past me there. Got my signal in a little bit too late. This is a really, really big second push on this number 3 signal now. If you deemed this to be a sideways trading range, this now is the breakout and the retest. So we're kind of getting the market in a bit of a bind. What I'm intending to do here is, if they fill me, I'm going to try to stretch my profit objective. Just because the market seems to be trending very well here this morning. And lo and behold, it's quarter to the hour. All right. Where's my next resistance line? Up here. Oh, don't flinch. See, this resistance zone right here seems to be giving the market a little bit of pause. If we get through there, we will hopefully find the third zone. So we've already covered 2 full zones. This area right here, that would be zone 1. This is zone 2. Oop. And I'd be looking for zone 3, which is really asking a lot, but the market is, or seems to be, pretty strong here this morning, except now that I'm long. All right, let's see if they retest again this breakout here once more. We can put our little just in case order above here to buy, and I'll just buy above that resistance line. We can also throw an order to short in below here, because if this breakout does not hold, if the market does not go higher, there is a reasonable expectation the market will head lower. And you can, like I said, you can do the same thing here on your Falcon. We've got the exact same thing going on here on the Eagle. This is where I normally do this type of trade. So here's our zone, here's the breakout, here's the retest. So you can throw your order to buy above here. This will be your continuation order. And you can put an order to short below here. Here with the hawk, you can be a little bit more aggressive even. And you can put your order to short below here, which would be one of your high probability signals. It would be the failure of a red bar buy. And that would make for a nice little scalp opportunity. All right. I may be asking a lot from this market right now, but we'll see. We'll see if we can't get some continuation. Well, here we go with yet another counter trend signal. And things just a touch dodgy here at the moment. Okay, this next, I've got a couple of bars here in my favor. I'm going to roll my stops up again. I'm going to try to stay 2 swings back below this resistance high right here at the top of this trading range where the market seems to be finding some support. Okay, and now I'm going to roll my stops in a little bit more aggressively. And now I'll capture a little bit of open profit. Come on, let's go. Going to get a little bit of a pullback here. It looks like I'm going to get tagged out on this little bit of a move lower. I could have left my stops here at break even. We'll see here in a moment whether that was a good idea or not. And if they get much lower than this, they would have hit my break-even stop out as well. All right, so it does look like it was a good idea that I took what little profit there was. Thanks, Ray. Ray says last week, Wednesday and Thursday, resistance on the daily chart, the high was at around 66.46 3/4. And we're definitely getting some pushback from that whole 66.45 to 40.50 region. Again, with the number 3 signal, the hawk here is a little bit starting to get a little bit more sideways, maybe. We're just introducing quite a few more yellow bars. Here now a green bar sell, which seems a little bit unusual to have that already. The green bar sell is, you could trade the failure of it, so you could look for it to trade higher, or you could look to trade it lower. Not sure I would go in with quite that heavy. But the hawk kind of ahead of the curve here, suggesting maybe some bearishness. All right, well, here we go again. We've got kind of this whole sideways trading range bracket going on, which I'll explain after I get my order placed. All right, so here was the trading zone we were looking at. How did it fall? Well, we had one down here. Then we had another tiny one right here. I'm wondering, each progressive leg higher seems to be getting shorter. That also kind of cues up the market for a possible reversal. We did produce a number 2 signal to short right here. I would think a breakout below this low might be the better place to sell, but if we get a couple of bull bars here, I will adjust my order. The hawk or the falcon is waffling. The hawk already there with the first micro macro cross signal to sell. Okay, you got one bull bar. Come on, give me another. All right, so now that I have 2 bullish bars, I can adjust my entry somewhat. So I know there's active buying, at least enough buying to produce 2 bullish bars. If the market breaks at this point now, there should be a little bit of follow through. Oh, and we have a 323 signal. So this is actually bracketable. We can put in a buy order above here again. So we essentially have a bit of a trading range. So let me throw a short order below here. I would prefer to buy, but I would prefer to buy off of a pullback. This isn't that much of a pullback, but we'll see if they choose to go higher from here. All right, well, there they go. I'll put my profit order back. We are against the ATR, so that does put some bearish pressure on, but the trend is still intact for now. All right, I'm going to take my chances and roll my stops up to break even. Oh, almost to my profit target. Just kissed the profit target. Whew. All right, and we did make it all the way up to the third resistance zone at 66.62. This is a very, very strong market here today, folks. Are we going to run out of resistance lines? No, not yet, but it's getting there. Okay, well, that was a good little trade. So if I were looking to fulfill my trade quota on the day, let's say I had a 3-trade quota with a positive result, my day would be done. So the first trade was a small loss, second trade, a small win, third trade, a bigger win. So I've had my 3 trades. I have a positive finish on the day. So my day would be done. If you can consistently do that day in and day out, that is how you're going to build your account. And then once you build your account, well, now you're in a position to trade multiple contracts. So the first trade was a $100 loss. Second trade was like a $35 winner. The third trade was a $200 winner. So for easy math, let's just say we had a $200 day. So that's on single contracts. So if I were in a position to trade 2 contracts, well, now all of a sudden it's a $400 day. 3 contracts, $600 day. 5 contracts, $1,000 day. That's how you make the big money trading. Most people make the mistake. They will open up their chart and they'll say, "Whoa, look at this day today. I would have bought down here off this number 1 signal, and I would have rode it all the way up here, and I made $1,000." In fact, just for curiosity's sake, so we buy down here, and well, we'll go off this resistance line. Yeah, it's a $1,600 move. Very, very easy to trade in hindsight. Not so easy to trade real time, and certainly not so easy to manage a trade like this. Again, in hindsight, it's very easy. You would just tell yourself, "Oh, I would roll my stops below each swing low and I'd be fine." And you would be fine if you had the ability to do that. But most people, especially smaller traders, I believe are better off taking profit on target. Well, even bigger traders. I don't know if Mark's in the room here this morning, but I think, Mark is quickly becoming a bigger trader, and I think he still prefers taking profit all in, all out. Yeah, you're going to miss moves. You're going to look back on your chart and you're going to say, "Whoa, wow, what a crazy move that was." But you're not going to say, "Oh man, why did I take profit on target? Why did I not leave a runner in play?" Because these kinds of days don't happen every day, obviously. Whereas yesterday here, these kinds of days happen more often, right? These are the kinds of days where you're happy to get your profit on target, because otherwise you spend the rest of your time getting tagged at break even. Well, that was a very healthy start to the day. The market has been in a rally since the open, so for the first half hour and change. We may get a little bit of a pullback, but in order to avoid doing anything totally stupid here, I'm going to step up for a second, get a coffee, and I will be right back. Uh-oh, looks like I came back too soon. They haven't retraced or resumed the trend, leaving me with this tempting shortening signal on the Raptor here. We got a number 2 signal. The Hawk very conflicted here at the moment, very, very sideways. Oh, there we go. Here we go now with the counter trend move and the first micro macro cross, which quite frankly developed so quickly you'd have to reach here for the short button. But there we go. Very, very fast. Little move lower. all the way down to the hard edge where we're getting a little bit of a pushback now, which is to be expected. What do you think? Do the sellers have another move in them? Here, the Falcon is working a possible trend change. A very, very early rule of three signal here in the Eagle. So we have a trend. The rule of three is the counter trend signal. We have a trend. Here's the first signal we've actually produced against the trend, but it's also already given us a test of the extreme. That might be a little bit too aggressive of a shorting attempt. Okay, here now is the second signal. Oh, we do have a signal here on the hawk to short. All right, let's get that back there a little bit. So we have a first micro macro cross to sell, and that came down very quickly to hit its profit objective, as the scalper will tend to do. But I think we could probably expect the market to move a little bit lower, at least to retest these lows here, which would put us somewhere around the 66.40 zone. I think that's not an unreasonable target for this trade, but hooray for the scalper, getting in and out so quick. Well, and here they go now. They're going to press that 66.40 zone, where I do believe we have a support line. Yes, we do. 66.39 quarter. And now we've seemed to hit a little bit of a pause again. Like I said, today's session, very, very bullish. I do expect another bull move as a result. But we are in the middle of a larger pullback. And I think we want to probably keep an eye on this little pullback channel that's developing, which may turn out to be a bull flag. No, they're still tailing off here, so not quite ready for that next rally up. Oh, in fact, that was a relatively strong move lower. I may have to consider a shorting opportunity. We did have several shorting opportunities. We had the first micro macro cross here on the Hawk. We had the trend change signal on the Falcon, a couple of number 3 signals here on the Raptor, and of course another hard edge bounce here on the Eagle as well. I honestly thought these lows here may hold and we might have seen a rally, but nope, not yet. Once we do see where the market reacts, we will have a much better idea once again where it will be possible to short from. Though we may have to give them a few minutes here to do that. All right, a little bit of a pullback to the hard edge. The Hawk back into yellow bars, so that kind of spoiled our macro pullback signal. The Falcon starting to change trendline colors. All right, here we go. Back to the trend line. The Hawk now going to give us a first micro macro cross to buy. The Falcon already with the trend change signal. And if we get a couple of bearish bars here, come on, give me one more bear bar. I'm not sure I want to try to buy a second push off of just one bar. So here's the signal. There we go. So the second push simply means we allow the signal to engage. We see where the market reacts, and then we use that reaction as our signal bar. The idea being that if the momentum is there, that's where we want to enter. We want to enter on some renewed momentum. So this now the second push opportunity on this trend change signal. which I know is falling on the bigger downtrend line. We don't have a bottom in just yet, but we are getting a little bit closer. Here we have a number 3 signal on the Raptor, but it's also against the ATR. So a second push entry on this number 3 signal may be advisable. Or if this number 3 signal fails and the market comes back with a number 2 signal, that could offer a buying opportunity on the Raptor as well. So a couple of things maybe lining up here for a possible rally. Okay, so here now the number 3 signal with the second push. So you can throw a short order in below there. This did not print as a number 2 signal. I have a feeling there's too many bars from the extreme, which is back here, but this is a number 2 signal all the same. So we've got a couple of opportunities here now. We've got a chance to short and a chance to buy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the number 3, the second push on the number 3 signal, and then we also have the Falcon with the buy on the break higher. So we essentially have this market in a bit of a twist right now. And whichever side fills, I'll just cancel the other order. Okay, here we are again at the Eagle. Right back to the trend line. This time we have had a test of the extreme. Okay. So we got filled on the long side. I'm going to cancel the other order. And you can see we definitely had a little giddy up here when the market took out this high. Ooh, big bear pushback. Oh dear. Oh, wow. Okay. That was unusual. That does not usually happen that way. Normally, what would happen is there would be a little bit of a hesitation somewhere through here, allowing you to adjust your trade. But we do have now a little bit of a sideways range with the breakout. No retest, the market just fell straight lower, but that does give us an opportunity to throw a just in case order below there, because now we've broken the bottom end of the trading range unsuccessfully. Here now the retest and we'll see whether or not the sellers resume the downtrend. That was a wild move. Ooh, that was a crazy breakout. Kind of reinforces the notion of having a trading quota. You can see how if you just keep going back to the well over and over again, you open up yourself to the possibility of a loss. Even though I had my reasons for trying to take that trade, just the simple fact that the trade did not go according to plan could easily take away all your or most of your profit on the day. And that's no fun. Nobody wants that. But if using a trading quota where you trade your 3 or 2 or 3 or 4 times, I would recommend having a smaller quota versus a larger quota. Does prevent you from blowing yourself up. Okay, here now we have a late filter entry signal on the Falcon. It's kind of in the middle of a trend change, and we kind of, saw the very violent reaction as the market tried to move lower. I am looking to trade or enter it just above this last swing high. The late filter entry, and I guess actually this was also a trend change / late filter entry. Okay, this should have a little bit of follow through to it, get back to the top end of this trading range. I can see it trading back here around 66.50. Next stop 66.62 again. That might be reaching a little. How much time have we got? Oh, we got some time. All right, why don't we try to stretch this out? And I'll extend my break even a few ticks as well. Now we're getting a couple of late filter entry signals here. There's got to be some momentum show up here soon. If I can get a couple more bull bars, I'm going to start to roll my stops in much more aggressively, because what that shows us is when you get a pair of bullish bars or bearish bars, there should be some follow through. And then, of course, if there is no follow through, then the market is going to be more inclined to try to turn. All right, 2 tiny bull bars. I'm going to roll my stops in a little bit. If we can take out this high, I will roll my stops down here below this low. Okay, still fighting with this high here around the 66.45 area, where we've spent a lot of the morning. After that initial rally, we've really kind of settled in around this whole 66.50 zone, not moving too far off of it so far. Yeah, they seem to be very happy trading around here. The lack of upward momentum is a bit of a concern. You know, you buy the market, it keeps making a run here at 66.45. It doesn't get through. I am going to tighten my stops a little bit more now. If we can get through 66.45, the market should rally up a few points, at least enough to allow me to get the stops to break even. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get now above this 66.50 zone without them tagging me out. And by the way, we would have found our profit objective if you had gone with your high probability target. Nuts. Well, had the right idea, they just did not follow through yet. And our trading zone is starting to get a little bit broader now. Probably looking something like this. And of course, what we need to do is we need to wait for the breakout, look for the retest, then we'll have a better idea where it is we want to place our order. In the meantime, it looks like, well, I don't want to read too much into this. The market, the context, you know, if you're looking at your chart to the left here, there is no trend. We're going to produce a number one signal. So if you're more inclined to be bullish, you know, we are above the ATR line. If you're more inclined to be bullish, you will produce a buy signal here shortly. See, there's your number one signal as anticipated. Here too, you could wait for a second push opportunity, or again, with the whole trade quota idea, you don't need to chase every single signal. That's a hard lesson for people to learn. All right, back now to the top end of this trading range. Not much of a breakout. I don't know if that even qualifies as a breakout. Well, I guess it does. It did get a couple of ticks above. So if you wanted, you could put your just in case the market continues to rally after the breakout order above there. But it's really gotten a bit ugly right now. Back to the top end and still no follow through. That's kind of what the market will tend to do after a big rally. is it will start to settle into a bit of a sideways drift, and I think that's what we're witnessing right now. In fact, now that we're bouncing off the top end of the trading range again, I may try to take advantage of that number 2 signal and just look to short the market here, as prices are likely to try to get back to the bottom end of the trading range. Now, I would recommend going all in, all out on target. So if we hit the profit target here, I'm just going to close out. And you can see I'm a little bit late on the signal, but the only way I could get in was to hit the sell order. Come on. Had I taken the signal as it was developing, I would have obviously hit the profit objective already. And I would have avoided the break even. Oh well. You know, a lot of trading is just trying to decipher. Well, obviously, it's trying to decipher what the market's going to do next, but you almost get to the point where you start to read the market, the charts, a lot like a book. You know, you see the buyers try to break out. Okay, they were unsuccessful. Here's the pullback. Here, the retest. Here's the next rally up. They're unsuccessful again. Therefore, the market's likely to move the other direction. And now we're going to get the same thing happening in reverse. We're kind of mid-range though, so that's really no man's land. If we get down here a little bit closer toward the lows and we see that happen again, then that makes the whole scenario play out again better. Namely, we would be looking for the sellers to break out. Once they retest, we know we can throw our just in case order here. And then if the market continues lower, fine. But if it hesitates, well, then there's a good chance the market will try to move higher, at least short term. Not saying that the market's going to make a great big move like that off of a failure of the low, although it is possible. But that's how you can wait for the market to kind of work itself into a bit of a bind, put itself in a corner so that it makes it easier to take the trade. The fish in the barrel scenario. See, and here we go again. Another run at the top end of the trading range. Another failure. This one not quite as inviting as the last one because the buyer's also making a higher swing low. But there is the possibility of a move lower. But look at, we're trading in the middle of the trading range. Look at what's happening to our other tools. Yuck. Nothing but yellow bars running through the hawk. The falcon has got that roller coaster action going on. The raptor, the cloud is starting to twist up like a rope. And here too, lots of yellow bars. Although the yellow bars in the raptor, not quite as detrimental as yellow bars in the hawk. All right, well, now we're seeing an actual breakout. So let me get a stop in play. Oh yeah, I seem to remember that happened the last time here with my eagle. So I'll manually enter a stop order. And ideally your stop, should be 2 swings back to start. We're witnessing another breakout. We need to allow for a retest. Okay, here we go, right back down to the trend line. You can see the challenge trying to trade while the market is inside a trading range. Get those fake breakouts. Well, it's almost time to close up our trading room here for the morning. If you are going to continue trading today, I think we will see another rally. I'm not convinced that we're not going to see a bit more of a pullback first, though. So it's something you'll want to keep a lookout for. Otherwise, they may not do anything until we get closer toward closing time. At any rate, I will see you again tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.